Hi, David Taub here. Welcome, and today I'd like to do a little lesson on songwriting. I really want to try to unlock some of the creative juices and creative energy that you might have within your guitar playing, and maybe kind of push a little bit to the next level and try to bring that out. I think there's a creative guitar player in every guitar player, and I get emails from all over the world from students who say, hey, I really would like to try to write my own songs. I just don't know where to begin. It's so hard. Can you help me? And yes, we can. It's not really hard to get going. And I'm going to do some very broad brushstrokes today. And this is going to probably be a two-part lesson. Okay, and I'm really wanted to give you the keys or unlock the door to make it really easy to start putting chords together that start sounding that sound good together, and teach you how to do that. And I'm going to give you a very special tool that's going to make it a little easier and faster. Okay, so what I want to talk about is songwriting in major key. We're going to talk about major key. It's a little different than minor key. Okay, major key, I'm going to again do some very broad brushstrokes here. And all music theory basically falls back to the major scale. And we all know the major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? How many times have we sung that song in elementary school? And if you play that scale on guitar, it's going to have that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do sound. I'll play it in the key of C. Right? No matter where I play it on the neck in C. See, it has a do, re, mi sound, right? If I play the same major scale in a different key, let's say G, the intervals or distances between the notes are the same in every major key, so it's still going to have that do, re, mi sound. It'll just be a higher or lower pitch. So here it is in G. Here it is in G up here. See, when you're talking about key, we're just talking think about it very simply as what sounds like home. What is everything resolving to? You might hear the key of a song. Well, it could be in the key of A, or the key of B, or the key of A minor, or it could be in a modal key like Dorian. But I just wanted to talk about major key, and we'll do minor key in another lesson. And again, just keep thinking everything music theory wise goes back to the major scale. And I'm going to make music theory really easy and simple. Broad brushstrokes today. If you want to study more in depth, we have lessons at our website, nextlevelguitar.com, where you can study things like chord construction and all about songwriting in various keys and notes in the major scale and minor scales, and really do in-depth studies. And you can do that if you want, but I want to get you playing fast, having fun, enjoying the guitar. And if you just want to enjoy these free lessons, that's great too. So whatever way you want to go is fine with us. The main thing is you want to get playing, having fun, and get creative and unlock the door. Okay, so how do you do that? How do you start putting chords together that sound good? You see, the major scale is a 7-note scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. 7 notes. And each one of those notes refers to a chord. And all those chords together, which I'm flashing on the screen in a minute in the key, we'll just use C major as example, because C major has no sharps and flats. The notes in the C major scale are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then back to C. No sharps or flats. So it makes it easy to talk about for discussional purposes. Each one of those notes also refers to a chord. It could be a major chord, a minor chord, or a diminished chord. And that's based on the principle of stacking thirds, and I don't want to get too heavy into the theory. If you want to, you can go to our website and study it. Basically, right now, I just want to take those chords, those 7 chords, because each note refers to a chord, those 7 chords in that key, which you are seeing on the screen right now, okay, they are all basically just combinations of notes in the C major scale. Remember, C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay? That's why those chords, there's a certain group of chords that always sound good together, the chords that make up that key. And it makes sense because all those chords are just various combinations of the notes in that scale I just played for you. This scale. The C major scale. So you take those notes which I just played, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, you mix them up in combinations according to the formulas, which we'll get into later, and you get the chords that are in the key of C major. And they're pretty much always going to sound good together. Now you can hunt and peck for those chords, and you'll eventually find them by ear, because we really want you to develop your ear. But If you had a guide to go by, you'll get there faster and you could study it and see the relationships between those. And we have that for you. And we're going to give it to you today. Now, those chords that are in a given key are much, much more likely to appear in that key than any other chord. However, you can find other chords that are outside the key that work, and I urge that you do, because that can be a very unexpected sound and something different. You can use chords, other chords from other keys, and use them it just doesn't have to be these chords, but this group of chords in the key of C major is much, much, much more likely to appear in the key of C major than any other chord, and they'll always pretty much sound good together. Okay, so, well, you're probably saying to yourself, how do I know what chords are these? How do I build a major scale? How do I do all this? Well, I created a chart that can really help you with this. And this chart is available for download. And what I want you to do is download this chart. Look at on this side of the video, we have some text in the box, the text box, and that has a link to it. Click on that link and it's going to take you to this page, which you can download. Okay? And what I did here is, remember, there's 12 notes in Western music. That's it. 12 keys. I listed the key, every key, down the one column, and across in the rows there's 3 lines for each row. I'll give you the note in that. The first line is the note in that major scale, like for the notes in C major, in the key of C, the note C, D, E, F, G, major key. We're not talking minor key or any other key. We're talking just major key here. I'll give you the notes, not the chords on that first line. The second line are the chords. The 3-note chord, whether it be a major chord, a minor chord, or a diminished chord. And then I get into, you can embellish those chords, a 4-note chord, whether it's a 7th or a major 7th or a minor 7th, okay? So on each one of these lines going across in a given key, you have 14 chords that you know are going to sound pretty good together. So I want you to start mixing them up and playing them in combinations, in different rhythms, using different strums, embellishing, chucking, and doing all the things that you've been working on to try to come up with melody. And you'll be so amazed at how easy it is to start putting stuff that sounds good together. Just follow this as a benchmark, just a guideline, just to get you going, okay? Download this for free, print it out. The link is right over here, okay? I said major key. The formulas for minor key are different. The formulas for every major key are the same, and how you get those chords, and we'll study that later. But it's different because in minor key there's 3 different kinds of minor scales. You have the natural minor or Aeolian mode, you have harmonic minor and melodic minor, and you could harmonize all 3 of those scales to all kinds of combinations, so it's a little bit more complex. There's only one major scale. I did do the chart in minor key too, using the ascending version of the melodic minor scale and also the natural minor scale, and I have that too, but we'll get into that in a later lesson. First learn run, then learn fly, Danielson. Okay? So how do we use this? How do we apply it on guitar? Simple. Okay? Simple. Now, of course, you're going to have to come up with melody. You're going to have to come up with, if you want to write lyrics, some cool poetry, right, and put on top of this. But let's just get you started, get you rolling, because you'll be amazed how fast this is going to snowball and how much fun you're going to have. Okay? Let's look at the chords in the key of C major. Let's just use C major in this particular example. Okay? Look at the chart. You have a C major. The 2 chord is a D minor, and I'm just going to play mostly open chords here, but you can play the bar chords. You can play the open chord. You can play them anywhere you want to. Okay? But let's just go with, again, I'm going to go with the basics here. C major, D minor, E minor, F major. Play a bar chord that, or you can play the little 4-finger F. G major, A minor, and the last chord would be a B diminished. So I'll put minor 7 flat 5. You don't hear a lot of diminished chords in rock and blues for the most part in pop because they're dissonant, more jazz, but you occasionally see them. For now, we're probably not going to use that chord, but it is important that you learn about it, and I'll teach you more about diminished chords later. We'll stick with the majors and minors for this example. So let's take some of those chords and mix them up. I know already they're going to sound good together, and let's just play something very basic and then embellish it, because I just want to get you started, get you rolling, right?